still there? You've cut up a little bit.
I am still. I've gone upstairs to find a charger. That could be the issue. I might go back downstairs again.
All right, you got signal issues. That's good. Well, we're live on YouTube now, so say hello, Alex.
Hello, YouTube. What a boring opening minute that was. Charger from upstairs.
We're about to go live on Facebook as well. So yeah, you're gonna be double. This is as I establish every week. Hey, hello Cam, a regular watcher in the YouTube comments already. As I establish every week, this is actually against the Facebook terms of service to stream on YouTube and Facebook. So
really?
Yeah, I'm living a pretty badass life at the moment.
Are we waging war against big tech?
Yeah, this is the time to do it. I think we should take down big tech just as the world really needs it.
I mean, I didn't have myself down as an anarchist comedian, but now I'm feeling at least more rebellious than I ever had done before.
Yeah, I've just switched. I've got some graphics on Facebook. So on Facebook, there's a little picture of you, and it says "Down the line, Alex Kitson." On YouTube, don't get that, but so hello YouTube, hello Gareth. He says Wagwan.
Wagwan Gareth. Can you add fuck big tech to my profile as?
Mate, this has taken me so much time and effort to set up. I cannot edit it now. So, sorry if you just heard that as well. That was a notification from my Scrabble Go app, letting me know that Scrabble Club has started the daily Scrabble Club.
Oh dear.
What have you been up to in lockdown?
What have I been up to in lockdown? Sort of a lot of Balloons Tower Defence.
Oh, that's a classic. Go.
What I've done is I've regressed to my childhood. So I accidentally didn't quite realise what I was doing. But, it was when I was sat watching old cricket highlights from about 15 years ago, playing Balloons Tower Defence, and masturbating more than I have done in about 10 years. Things are really taking a turn for the prepubescent Kitson.
Yes. Yeah. Oh wow. So, but you're not at home. You've regressed to childhood without the parental being there.
Yes. It's very much. This is. I'm living in Bristol in a flat share, which I moved into at the start of February. So I'm living with people I didn't know that well, but now.
You know very well. You've been
absolutely
wanking and watching cricket highlights with them. I mean, I assume one of them you did personally. No, obviously you did it personally, but privately, I meant. It's one hell of a way. It's like living in like the Big Brother house, like you get to know those people. I've suggested voting people off, but that has been shouted down. It's a real, but no, it's good. I'm so far. My only sort of problem with the lockdown is that I still haven't found out whether I've been furloughed from my day job. Oh right, yeah. That's a worry. Gareth said, "Sounds like the perfect life." Talking about your cricket activities.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, what's brilliant about it is that it's all on YouTube. I don't know what's happened over the last couple of years. Is that like all the cricket from about 2004 to 2006, which is like my favourite era of cricket, is all on YouTube.
That's good.
Old Test matches. It's been. One of the biggest wastes of time in my entire life. Every single second.
John Hinton says, "Hi Andy, Fordingbridge checking in. Hello John, thank you for joining us." So, are you quite a sporty person? Like, I'm enjoying the cricket chat, but I know a lot of our audience.
Sorry, not to get too into.
No, get into it, and get passionate.
Yeah, I'm. Sports. I think I come from a very sort of sporty background. My dad works in sport, and lots of my friends are really. I went to lots of very sporty sort of schools, and I'm sort of. I don't consider myself particularly sporty, but then I talk to people who aren't sort of sports fans at all, and I realise, oh no, I am actually quite.
You're
very bad at them.
You're one of them.
Yeah. So accidentally.
Is that an awkward middle ground to be in, where you're not sporty enough for the sporty people, but you're too sporty for? I don't want to say normal people. That's not the right word, but
it's. I don't mind. I think I prefer to be where I am rather than on the other side of it, because it is quite. When I had a birthday party a couple of years ago, and invited a bunch of mates down from uni who were all like theatre-y, like in the comedy societies at uni, and then was also my brother's mates from school who are all the rugby, sort of big rugby jocks from Devon.
What a meeting of minds.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, meeting of one set of minds and one set of mindset. It's like, absolutely. And the difference was staggering just in terms of just health. Like one group looked so healthy and just, they're all 18, they're all rugby players, they're all in the prime of their lives. And then the other group are about, a bunch of people still in their early 20s, so it's not too bad, but they're, haven't seen the daylight for about 3 years, all deficient in sort of all the vitamins that you need. And it was quite dramatic.
Oh, well, one group would love that bit of drama. The theatre group. I do like partying with theatre people. I like the kind of crowd that harmonise singing "Happy Birthday." That's who I like to party with.
The problem was it wasn't really theatre people because I mostly did comedy stuff, so it was just sort of mostly just groups of ill-looking people being sarcastic, which is not good party. But no, all good people, all good fun. But yeah, I'm in the middle of it.
You just had to be diplomatic in case somebody from your birthday party was listening.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all good people. Yeah, no,
we've got
all good friends.
We've got a few YouTube comments. You can comment on Facebook as well if you're watching. Cam says, we're getting Facebook messages, are we? I am. I think I've muted that now. Sorry about that. Gareth said, turn off notifications. I have done. Danica says, what am I drinking? I'm drinking a glass of water. What are you having, Alex? You got a drink with you?
No, well, I bought some strawberry squash from Tesco earlier, so I might delve into that.
Ooh.
To further underline my 12-year-old credentials.
Squash and cricket and... Okay, yeah, fair. I won't finish the sentence. Shall we move on to the first question?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So question one, up for debate, is should darts be an Olympic sport? Now, do you have an initial thought on this?
Initial gut reaction, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the Olympics. I'm as a half sports fan, I do like the Olympics, but I don't like the fact that they're all better than me.
So you want a sport that you could potentially compete in at some point?
Yeah. Because you look at the Olympics, like the Olympics for everyone in the world. Like you look at the Olympics, there's like sprinters from Jamaica. There's like they're like basketball players from the USA. There's like ping pong players from China. But there's no sports for like fat old men from Wigan.
we do need to include them. They're not getting enough good press at the moment.
The Olympics needs to be more representative.
So the initial thoughts coming from YouTube. Don't forget you can comment on Facebook as well. The initial thoughts, Paul Cox says yes, Cam says no way, and Charlotte says maybe eventually, but there are other sports that should get there first. So that's interesting.
Yeah. What sports would you put in before darts?
Well, they already did it, didn't they? They did parkour. That got added into the...
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what other kind of sports... I don't know what other sports there are.
Yeah, because they do add them. Like they added golf a couple of years ago.
Golf is in an Olympic sport, is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think they added it like last Olympics. So someone might correct me on that. But I thought they added.
I'll correct you on it, mate. I'll Google it. Golf Olympics. Here we go. Oh yeah, shit. That was for this year, the first Golf Olympics.
There we go. Yeah, so I think they're adding all the sports. I think darts should be up there. Like when the Olympics has dressage, I feel like
yeah. But yeah, so horse riding is, you think, less skill than darts, would you say?
No, I don't mean to slag off dressage. I love dressage. I think it's the best. I think a horse's dancing is the best sport.
Yeah, I mean, objectively, yes, yeah.
But I'd love to see horses do different sports, though.
what horses? What sports might see horses do?
I reckon you should have like separate Olympics just for horses. You've got the
horse Olympics, yeah.
I reckon you have the horse like horses. Like I'd love to see a horse doing the modern pentathlon.
What's included in a pentathlon?
So like you'd have like horse shooting, like horse fencing, and then horses riding horses.
The horse on horse dressage. I feel like there's probably some laws against that. That doesn't sound right.
I don't know, but I'd watch it. It's not unlike this phone in. It's illegal, but I'd be tuning in.
You'd be tuning in despite whatever law says. Breakdance should have been added, but it didn't, says Jack on YouTube.
Okay.
Paul says, surely it requires more skill than shot put, and no one bats an eyelid that was included. I don't know whether you mean shot put or shooting, because shot put, that needs a little bit of arm action. Xander,
shooting as well. Shooting's hard.
that's a good point. Shooting and archery, that kind of the aiming sports, we'll call them. So if they're in, maybe darts should be in. Xander says, I believe darts should be an Olympic sport, but partakers should only be the very inebriated. So with darts, but exclusively for the drunk people.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's pro darts. Like the thing is, in the Olympics, every Olympics, like they struggle to like build the venues in time. But like darts, you're like, is there a pub in the city?
So you think they'll fix a lot of infrastructure problems? Bin off the athletics. Don't need a stadium.
Like a stadium, like you got to build a whole swimming pool.
Like it's a good point.
More pub sports.
More pub sports, and especially coming out of the lockdown, it would be might help the economy. We're doing a good thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Like the pub trade, very sadly, is going to struggle through all of this. So get darts in the Olympics.
I'll quickly
get some of that lottery funding. And
lottery funding for pub darts. I'll quickly read some more YouTube comments because the discussion has broken out. Henry says crochet/knitting should be in the Olympics, which I would love to. I'd like to see that actually, but exclusively.
Again, referring to my thesis of more sports for more people, I think very few sports for the people sat on sofa.
People sat on sofas. I especially want to see grands in the Olympic opening ceremony getting marched out.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Like if we had like a really successful like championship knitter and like she was carrying our flag.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fair play. She's the top athlete in the UK.
So Jack says the Olympic Committee needs to crack down on what sports involved. There are too many. We'll come back to that in a minute. Dance should be included, says several people. Henry says dancing isn't a sport, but then again, neither is running. They're activities. So a lot to discuss here. Is running a sport? We'll start with just yes or no from Alex Kitson.
I think yes, but I get what he's talking about. But I do see his point of view, but I don't want to catch the ire of the running community saying it's not a sport. Was he the same guy who said that knitting should be a sport, but running isn't?
Yeah. He said knitting/crochet should be an Olympic sport, but running does not count. Mo Farah, piss off. We're getting Doris in here. I
feel like he's got an agenda. I'm not going to lie.
He's just very good at crochet/knitting. Wants to be an Olympian. So I want to come to the dance thing as well, because Charlotte McDonald, regular viewer and commenter. Hello, Charlotte. Thank you for joining us. She has been told in the chat that dance is not a sport. However, she competes nationally, and it is called the official title dance sport. Now that feels pretty decisive. I think that's a very good argument from Charlotte.
I feel like that seems decisive. And who am I to argue with a national athlete? But dance sport does sound a little bit. Is it different rules from, like, say, Strictly?
Maybe that is it. Maybe I don't know. What kind of dancing do you do, Charlotte? Is it like break dancing or ballroom dancing? Let us know in the comments. Sorry?
Is it like Step Up?
The classic film Step Up. I think I've ever seen that actually. I feel like I've just know it because it's referenced.
I've never seen it either, but I know there's dance battles in there. I know that Flo Rida did the song for the fourth one.
What a weird. Why have you got that information for the fourth Step Up film when you've not seen any of them?
Because I was born in 1996. Like, I know these things.
Were you born in 1996?
Yeah.
You're so much older than I realise.
Yeah, I know. It's because of my inexperience and being bad at comedy.
You're not bad at comedy.
No, I'm being self-deprecating.
Isn't he endearing, folks?
Oh, wow. Isn't he young? Surprisingly older.
I've got some comments on YouTube and one on Facebook. The conversation moving to keep up with. Somebody said Robot Wars. I'd like to see the Robot Olympics. That's interesting. Dance sport is ballroom in Latin. Thank you, Charlotte, for answering our question. Joe McLeish on Facebook says, 1 year at the Fringe, I went to one of the performers' bars, which are usually frequented by wanker industry types. I saw 2 coked-up junior TV producers playing a darts duel where they counted to 3, then each threw a dart at each other. First few times, they missed/didn't go in. Then on the 4th time, one got a dart properly embedded in his leg. It was the best thing I've ever seen at the Fringe. And the fact they didn't win the award shows the whole thing is a stitch. So Joe would like to see darts in the Olympics, but exclusively for men throwing darts at other men's flesh.
Okay, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, why not? Maybe sort of scale it up a bit. Have the javelin, but have them throwing javelins at each other.
Yeah, well, Xander said bring back medieval sports, jousting and all that sort of stuff. So maybe we could have just make it a duel. Let's make the Olympics a big old fight, I think. Yeah,
I think bring it back to its roots, make it a bit more Spartan generally.
Joe's also added, he doesn't know what his point is, but I think he thinks his point is that all sport should have its Olympians on cocaine/heroin and with knives. That's what he's saying.
Well, I don't know which. I think it might be Frank Boyle has a bit about they should allow drugs at the Olympics.
Well, not performance-enhancing drugs, just drugs.
I think his was it should be performance-enhancing drugs. I'm going to tweak that slightly and say it should just be drugs.
That'd be good. It'd bring a new dimension to the Olympics.
Swimming, high jump. I don't know.
I think drugs in the swimming pool. Just to put a little safety notice out there for all our viewers. Not a good mix. Rugby sevens, says Gareth. I think that is already at the Olympics, as Jack says.
Yeah,
Henry says dancing, gymnastics, and diving are not sports.
Ooh. Which phrase did he say?
He says, and I like the reasoning, to be fair. He says anything that is subjective so nothing that's like based on, like equestrian as well, because you have to rank it based on the opinion of a judge. That shouldn't be a sport. It has to be goals or distance, which is a good argument, actually. Yeah,
that is a good argument. Because that was going to be my maybe argument against dance, was that depending on the type of dance. Because if it was going to be like that show, the Greatest Dancer, I don't want an Olympic sport judged by Ashley Banjo.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't want Ashley Banjo anywhere near any sporting bodies.
Yeah, Bruno Tonioli should not be an Olympic official.
That's very fair.
That's a fair point. But I think introducing objectivity, I guess a lot of the sports are about. But then does that? I don't know. This is getting a bit more philosophical than I am able to comprehend. But but if you say objectivity, there's no room for sort of interpretation. Does that mean you rule out games say football, because it's not the team that wins is not objectively the best?
But no, but they have done objectively better.
Yes,
they may not be because also that's the same with anything. The person who wins the race in 100-meter race might not be the fastest runner, but he ran the fastest for that race. Unless you want to stretch the Olympics across an entire lifetime and take the mean kind of average results from everyone. But I think that would be
how fast are you on average?
But Cam says.
That's a good point. I think I've gone down a dead end, which I don't want to argue my way out of.
That's fair enough. Well, that's pretty much the end of the first section, actually. The comments are split. A lot of people saying no. There is a few saying. So Paul says darts yes. I think Nick says darts yes. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not if I've interpreted that correctly. Are we having pub as an Olympic event? We can have boat races and pool tables. I don't know what that means. You have to explain that to me, Jack.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Was that saying pool table, other pub sports?
Oh, I see. Other pub. I suppose if we do open the door to darts, we do open the door to other pub sports. The pub Olympics. That's interesting. Maybe we should have a separate pub Olympics.
That'd be fantastic. Played by horses.
Played by horses. A pub Olympics played by horses. Oh, that's a nice kind of solution. Henry Futcher says darts, yes. I think overall, I'm leaning towards I don't see why it shouldn't be there. What do you think in the actual proper Olympics? I mean, darts.
Yeah, I think yes. I think I think the Olympics is now encompassing almost every sport. I think it feels a bit weird when there's like a big sport which isn't in there. Like once you open the door, like say when football got allowed in, and like now there's surfing, there's BMX riding. It seems strange to like take that away. Like I'd stick it in.
Cool. That's official then. Sorry, Danica, who's just made the point that darts doesn't have a unified governing body, so can't be an Olympic sport. Unfortunately, that fact is too factual for us as we move on to question 2. Piss off with your objective facts. So question 2, from the very sporty down to the very, I was about to say very naughty, but that's not the vibe I was going for. Chocolate bars. So question 2 is, what is your favourite chocolate bar? What is the best chocolate bar? Oh, well, actually, no. The question is, what is the best chocolate bar? What is not is your favourite? So we're looking for an objective answer here.
Yeah. So because obviously I don't want to go down like a boring route, because like the boring route would be like, oh, the best one's the dairy milk because it's the one that's been around for ages and it's the normal one. Like, but then again, I'm a big chocolate guy. Like, I've got a massive sweet tooth. Like, I like all of them.
Are you more chocolate or more sweets?
I think chocolate. I think because I was a big sweet guy, but I trained myself off them.
You trained yourself off them?
Yeah, I think I sort of bullied myself out of them by internally saying they're for children.
That is what I worried, is that, you know, if you go and buy a packet of sweets rather than a chocolate bar, you are a child.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told myself, so I'd stop doing it. But I don't think it's true.
I can't believe you bullied yourself into not enjoying something.
I mean, it's once you can master the technique, it's really, really.
What else have you bullied yourself out of?
Oh, it's why I haven't killed anyone in the last 5 years. Like, really, it's really helpful. It's really pushing you towards positive choices.
Oh, how did Alex become a school shooter? Oh, he's bullied. Who was bullying him? Just himself, constantly. It really pushed him over the edge.
Often, that he managed to bully himself out of, his final revenge.
John Hinton says crunchy on Facebook. Danica says timeout. Cam says double decker. It's got everything going on. Charlotte McDonald says Galaxy. In terms of plain chocolate, it is the tastiest. I think I have to agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, Galaxy, fantastic test. Yeah, but I want to talk about the double decker because that was going to be my choice.
Oh, right. Oh, we'll come back to that. I'll just quickly read the last of these YouTube comments. Dairy Milk is a literal chocolate bar. Same with Yorkie. Others have more going on. Lion Bar is a close second because it's also got everything going on. So Jack and Cam want a bit of activity going on. Gareth says double decker because there's a mixture of milk chocolate, nougat, crisp and crunchy cereal. What could you ask for? However, Jack does agree with Charlotte that Galaxy is the best, like, actual chocolate. So let's come back to double decker. State your case for the double decker, Mr. Kitson.
Yeah, because it's the thing. Because what do you want for a chocolate bar? You want some chocolate, yes, but you want so. Yeah, I think I agree with the people in the chat. You want something going on.
Yeah.
But chocolate bars, they've got some chocolate bars have polarizing ingredients. Like some
slave picked cocoa.
Sorry.
Slave picked cocoa. Is that not the route you're going down?
Yeah, but like.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow there with a rubbish slavery joke.
Yeah, but like there's there's fruit and nut. There's like a picnic with raisins in. There's Snickers. Some people don't like peanuts. Like there's some people like a more biscuity thing. Like some people like a bit of a crunch to it. Which is why I think that like I was it Gareth who said it combines.
A lot of things, yeah.
Like it's got your chocolate, it's got your soft bit like a Mars bar, it's got your crunch like say a Twix or like a Kit Kat. Like,
texture is very important. This is a good point.
Yeah, so like I think for an ultimate all rounder, I think and therefore the best, I think you got to go double decker. Okay,
I think I agree with that. I do love a double decker. My mum loves a double decker. However, Charlotte makes a good point. If you're getting an Easter egg, are you going to get a double decker Easter egg? Because a lot of the Easter egg is just going to be plain chocolate. So when you want plain chocolate, are we looking at Galaxy, Dairy Milk, the Poundland chocolate is always the worst. I just want to put that out there objectively. Like a Poundland advent calendar or something like that. It's just got this weird European-y tasting chocolate, and that's why I voted leave. No. But do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? The European-y tasting.
Well, I think because there's some European chocolates. We're talking Belgium, we're talking Swiss, where that is.
Oh no, I'm talking.
But I think you're talking slightly. But no one wants.
I'm talking Calais, mate.
Yeah. No one wants Latvian chocolate.
Latvian chocolate. There might be like a special. I'm going to Google that whilst we're talking Latvian chocolate. Danica.
Delicacy. Someone's going to get cross with me.
Yeah, it's made the point of chocolate orange. Would you go for chocolate orange over like Galaxy?
I love a chocolate orange.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is my like a chocolate orange is my absolute favourite thing. But I am well aware that like lots of people are not chocolate orange fans.
Yeah.
So because are we now talking about, because the original question was best chocolate bar, but now are we talking best chocolate?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I like to leave the questions a little bit open ended so people can kind of get involved and take the conversation a little bit of a tangent.
What a well structured show.
Thank you very much. So let's come back to best chocolate later. Let's focus on best chocolate bar. Henry said, "Why is no one talking about Mars bar?" And Cam has hit back with Mars is absolute bottom tier. Now that's controversial. What do you think on the Mars front?
See, I get I like a Mars bar, but I think. Because I like the stuffing, I like the chewy, I like the carrot, I like everything about it. But you get a little bit of that in your double decker. That's my argument.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you do get, but I think you don't get the caramel in the double decker. I think that's quite a key element of the Mars bar.
That's a good point. Maybe you could dip a double decker in caramel.
I think that's worryingly too sugary. Surely that's a recipe for medical disaster. Hello?
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Did I dip out there?
You did dip out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was bragging to myself about how I had just invented the triple decker.
The triple decker. That's good. We should pattern this. I'll write this down.
Yeah,
triple decker.
Right to who makes
Cadbury's.
Willy Wonka. Right to Willy Wonka.
Yes. Was there anything from Willy Wonka that you like really wanted to try? Is there a chocolate bar or a sweet selection that stands out?
I always wanted to try the big gobstopper because I love the gobstopper. It's like the never-ending gobstopper.
Is that where a different every layer? No, that's different. To every layer is a different meal. Is that different or?
I think someone might have to remind me. I think there was the chewing gum, which was every meal. I think
you're right. It's chewing gum. By the way, I looked up Latvian chocolate and it looks shit. You cannot
imagine it being tasty.
No. So apologies to any Latvian listeners. I highly doubt that's the case.
Yeah, you really burnt your bridges with Latvian.
Every layer is a different. Yeah. So a few more kind of thoughts from the chat. What are people's thoughts on Bounty? Cam says Bounty is done dirty, but fucking nation, they are top tier for sure. I think Bounty is okay, not raging at it. People they just like it more than they actually do.
I think if you're saying Bounty is the best of the bar ever, you know you're being antagonistic. I think you're.
He's just trying to spark a bit of debate.
Yeah, you're effective. I don't use this word lightly. I think you're trolling this. I think you're.
I really wondered what word you were going to use when you went for trolling. You're so polite, Alex. Like I said, we had George Rigdon on the show 2 weeks ago, and it took him 5 minutes for him to drop every C-bomb and call everyone a nonce. I don't say this lightly. Now, I'm choosing my words very carefully, but I think you're trolling.
Well, I think me and George are famously very different comedians.
Yes, very true. Cam says Bounty is beautiful. Get out, Alex.
I'm not saying. I will admit I don't like a Bounty myself,
mm-hmm.
but I feel like I'm not alone in that, and it's a thing. You get to the end of the celebration box. What is left? The Bounty.
Yeah, it's always
It's always the case. Like and that's. I was about to say that's democracy. I don't think it is.
No, I think that's market economics
That's market economics.
Free,
Yeah,
yeah.
I should know that. I did a politics degree.
A few other things to bring in. Boost, picnic, twirl. Now, I think Boost. There's an argument for Boost having everything in it, a little bit like Double
Absolutely.
Decker.
I think similar family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You put it in the same chocolate species.
Yes. Yeah. But like a cheetah and a tiger.
Nice, great analogy.
Yeah, they're both big cats.
They are both cats. If you're very passionate about what chocolate bar is your favorite, you can call into the show. If you're on Facebook, it should be on the screen below. If you're on YouTube, here's a reminder: 07827 333 566. And as always, that is my personal number. Charlotte says, trick like bounty, and you don't have to share them in the celebrations box. That's a good point. Maybe the bounty should be boosted up on the fact that it's readily available. Should the scarcity of a chocolate come into play here?
Yeah, I don't. I think it's a different question. Like what is the best? It's different from what if you could have one. If you personally could only choose one chocolate for the rest of your life, like bounty would be. And if you like bounty, that'd be a good shout because it would be readily available.
Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe, but if we say you only allow one chocolate bar for the rest of your life, does that mean you have to use the resources available, or you get an unlimited supply of? Also, I mean, we're joking about bounty always being last, but I don't think there's are other chocolate bars running out?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. In that scenario, yeah.
Oh well, talking about running out and having some left, Henry Futcher says Twix. He's put that in all caps, and then he's acted out a little scene for us in the comments. Oh no, nice. I finished my Twix. Oh wait, I have another. Always the best moment of my day.
I remembered about the two fingers. I thought he'd eaten two fingers and was carrying two separate packets of Twixes.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him. I like a good Twix.
Yeah, and I thought that's a man bragging about his 2 packets of Twix strategy.
Yeah. Gareth says that what doesn't work if, as you've just mentioned, if you eat both Twixes at the same time. Would you ever do that? Would you ever double Twix?
I think that's rock star behaviour. I'm not that kind of guy. Like I imagine people who eat 2 Twixes. That's too lavish. They're sort of doing that on a jet ski.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In a music video.
I'd love to see that in like a Kanye West music video, just flexing with 2 Twixes at the same time.
Yeah.
This is nice as well. Cam and Charlotte are agreeing on the chocolate front. Last week, Cam and Charlotte had a Scottish Southern England falling out, but now they're all joined on the issue of chocolate and dancing. So that's nice to see.
Oh, that's good to see. Good to see the nation healing after the referendum.
Yeah, we're doing our part here at Pulse of the Nation. We're bringing people together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Somebody's brought up Tunnocks. Have you ever had the Tunnocks?
I have had the Tunnocks, and I know people love it. Mm-hmm. People love it. I think relies on a cup of tea with it.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I think I want my answer to this question to be able to stand solo.
Yeah, I agree. The chocolate bar has to survive on its own. You can't add extra elements.
Yeah, we're looking for Robbie Williams, not Gary Barlow here.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. That's a very good point. I always want to look back Tunnocks, sorry. Also, eat a Kit Kat without breaking the fingers off to take a bite. Chaos. So Gareth is just eating chocolate with no regard to the rules of chocolate eating.
Oh really?
And I did wonder with Kit Kat as well, because I misread it at first about white Kit Kat. What white chocolate bars are we bringing to the mix? No one's mentioned any white chocolate bars.
Oh, yeah, I was staggered the Kit Kat hadn't been mentioned as the UK's top selling chocolate bar.
Is it the top set? A lot of people say that the YouTube comments is very disparaging of the Kit Kat. They always say it's bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, because that fact always surprises me, because I don't necessarily know anyone who would go Kit Kat first choice.
No, I suppose maybe it's good marketing to have a Kit Kat. I can't think of many other chocolate bars whose like slogan has stayed with me so much.
Yeah. They should really learn from that, because they've been doing that for a while, and if they're still top of the game, then you've got to, have a free moment. Stuff your face with Galaxy. I don't know.
Catchy, it rolls off the tongue. Cam says,
absolutely.
exception being Kit Kat Chunky. Very good point. You can't forget the Chunky.
Yes.
I do like a I like a
I'm
Kit Kat Chunky.
happy to consider them separate entities.
Mm-hmm. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget you can still get involved. You can comment or call in even 07827. Oh, we're getting our first caller. Please let me know on Facebook as well if the sound is working. Thank you. Hello, who have we got down the line?
It's Henry.
Oh, hi, Henry.
Hello,
Alex, this is my friend Henry.
Hello, Henry.
Hello, Alex. How are you today, mate?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I've got a chicken in the oven.
Oh, lovely. Sounds nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, what are your thoughts, Henry, on the chocolate debate?
Well, I was just thinking, you were just talking about, was it the best marketing for chocolate bars?
Yeah.
And I think you'll find that the best marketing for any chocolate bar, something that I know gripped me and you a couple of years ago and gripped the nation, I'm sure, was the hunt for Joe the Mug.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
With Kit Kat Chunkies.
So, are you aware of this, Alex?
I don't know. When was this?
So, if you bought a Kit Kat, you in the wrapper there was a little code. Correct me
When
if
was
I'm.
this, like 2018?
Yeah, 2018. You get a little code. You type it in the website, and you win a mug with a Joe the Mug with a different kind of emotional face on it. Me and Henry won twice.
Oh, nice.
No, we didn't.
I won twice.
You didn't tell me about the second time.
I did. I said because I won once and I gave it to Henry because you'd spent upwards of how much do you think you spent on Kit Kats trying to get a mug?
Well, it was every time I got a meal deal, I got the Kit Kat Chunky. I got sick of them, to be honest.
Yeah, but you were really hankering for this mug.
Oh, I really wanted to try the mug. Yeah, of course it is.
Understandable. So Henry, so I won it and I gave it to Henry, and then like the day after, or like a week after I won it, I won another one as well.
Didn't I leave it at a party?
Yeah, he left it at a party, and I had to pick it up.
It was one of those hollow victories where I think it's like, you know, when you're chasing that high, you know, just one heroin isn't enough anymore. And sort of, you know, you're always chasing that high with Joe the Mug, and when you finally got there, you reached the pinnacle, you reached Nevada, and it wasn't the dream you were sold.
Okay, can you rate? Have you experienced something like that in your life, Alex?
What sort of having not being able to quite match the same high again?
Yeah, Josh Cox has just quoted you, Henry, saying one heroin.
That's the industry term, yes. I mean,
hello, I would like one heroin, please.
Clearly isn't a kind of, you know, the kind of drug kingpin like me.
No. And
yes, it's the street lingo. We're cut from the same cloth. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Have you ever
solidarity?
Have you ever done a chocolate competition, like buying chocolates to get something?
No, I haven't, because despite being tempted to, because I don't know. I got driven into my mum never let me enter any competitions as a kid because she says it's all a scam.
Right.
So I think that sort of burrowed its way into me. And
you've got to read T's and C's.
Yeah, I just go, well, I'm never going to win. Like, so there's no point. There's no point, which is a negative attitude and what I don't like.
Yeah, that's really drilled in. This is why you bully yourself, Alex.
This is why. Yeah. It's
Did you ever read Match magazine?
I didn't read Match magazine. I didn't. No.
It was a football magazine, and they had like a page where they put kids' artwork in it. And I read this until I was like 12 years old, and I never got any of my artwork in there. So when I was 12, I did a drawing of my favourite footballer, but then said that my age was 7 to try and make it look better, like as a 7-year-old's drawing, but to a 12-year-old standard, and I still didn't get in there, so I gave up from there. I've never sent in for anything after that.
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry. That's tragic. Yeah. But thank you for calling in, Henry. Pleasure as always.
No worries, mate. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.
That's reminded me. I once. Do you remember Smile on? Was it CBeebies?
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
They used to do this thing where you could, because the logo was like this sort of square smiley face. And I remember people like drawing it to get in. And I remember having the idea to draw it in chalk on my trampoline, take a photo of it from above to do it in. I remember going out there, getting the chalk and doing it, and then realising I had absolutely no way of being able to take a photo of it from above.
Did you think you just had a spare helicopter or something?
Yeah, and like I tried to bounce with a camera, but I couldn't get high.
Every time you were bouncing, you were just rubbing it off with your feet. It was just a nightmare.
It was absolute carnage, and I never tried to enter a competition again.
Well, we've got another sad story over in the YouTube comments. LFP says, Joe the mug hunt equals severe heroin addiction. Yep, very much so. Charlotte says, I once won a Ribena competition when I was about 6. They sent me a Ribena plant, which was just a stick. It never grew, but 6-year-old me wore it religiously. Never tried any competition again. Oh my goodness. These corporations are scamming us.
Yeah, I've just realised I won a competition about a week and a half ago.
No way. What did you win?
Well, because there's a nightclub in Bristol called La Rocca, which is most famously Bristol's cheapest nightclub. It's got its mottos outside, which is a night out which won't dent your bank account.
I like when cheap things know they're cheap. You know, they embrace it.
Yeah. So then they had a competition a couple of weeks ago, which was to win a mug with your name on it, like a La Rocca mug. And they wanted your best photo of you at La Rocca. And I was trying to find a photo of me and my mate wearing La Rocca shirts in La Rocca, which we did because we were desperately uncool students. And but all I could find was my other mate and his girlfriend when they were just going out in the Rocca shirts, smiling and sort of being very much in the early throes of love. But that makes it sound like they're naked. No, it was they were just smiling at the camera, looking very sweet. And I went, well, this is a really lovely picture. This would win. So I sent a picture of not me, saying, here's me and my sister. We hadn't seen each other for 6 years. But when we reunited, where else would we go but La Rocca?
Amazing.
And I want a mug.
With a picture of not you on it.
Yeah, picture.
Are they still going out?
I don't know if they're making the pic. I don't know actually if the picture's got if they can put the picture. I think they just put my name on it.
Oh, I see. Right, it's not a mug with a picture on it.
No, if it is, I might have to give it to them.
They are going out still. That's good. That would have been even funnier if they'd broken up.
No, they are still together, which is but yeah, that's the right. Actually, I need to. I know there's a global pandemic on, but my mug, which I cheated.
You chased that, mate. You won it. You deserve it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jack says he won McDonald's Monopoly once before. Since then, my life has been downhill. What did you win, Jack? Let us know. Let us know in the YouTube comments. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment as well. Get involved. You can call the show 0787 333 566. So let's kind of bring the chocolate debate to a close. I want to quickly make one point. Because we talked about chocolate orange. Chocolate doesn't go very well with lots of other fruits, in my personal opinion. However, something that's not been explored, which I discovered recently, a whole chocolate bar, not melted chocolate on this thing, but a whole chocolate bar and a grape. Oh, it's a good combo. Yeah, I recommend it. Grape and chocolate.
Oh wow, wait. I've got a fun fact about the chocolate orange.
Oh yeah, go on.
Apparently, he tried to make a chocolate apple first, but it was very tasty, so he made a chocolate orange instead.
That is a fun fact. Thank you. So we're going to say best chocolate bar is a double decker, and best chocolate is Galaxy.
I think that's a fair reflection of the discussion.
That's nice. A nice kind of close to what is the best chocolate, and we move on to our final question, the big question of the week. And this week it is football or rugby. Now, don't worry if you're not sporty. Stay tuned. You know, we had the Fun Olympics chat earlier. This could go in any direction. We could have horse-riding horses. We could have hardcore drugs in the Olympics. People getting stabbed. Anything can happen. Stick around. Let us know. Football or rugby. What do you think, Alex?
You see, this is where my bias. I mean, everyone's going to be biased, but it's a two-way question. I am a rugby fan.
I'll get a caller. Sorry, I had to cut you off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hello, who have we got down the line?
Hello, it's Gareth.
Hello, Gareth. How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
I have strong opinions on this subject.
I thought that's why you might be calling. Tell us your opinions.
Rugby is objectively better than football.
Objective. That is a strong word to use.
Yes, there are different types of rugby. You've got Rugby Union, which has 15 players on the pitch.
Yeah.
You have Rugby League, which has 13, which is a different sport in itself. You've got Rugby Sevens, which has 7 people per team, and then again, that's a different sport. And then you've got a new rugby called Rugby X, which is 5-a-side, played indoors under lights, and is a massive show which is all about speed and precision, whereas sort of the traditional 15s rugby is about tackling. So compare things like football 5-a-side to 7-a-side and what have you, they're all the same. It's just pointless.
I'd say that 5-a-side and futsal and all those kind of smaller level football games, they're more about it's a different ball game. I mean, it's the same ball game, but it's a different ball game, if you know what I mean. But you still...
because they all follow the exact same rules.
So what are the difference, other than the kind of players on the pitch and the tackling versus speed, what are the key rule changes between the various differences?
Rugby X is about running, so there's no kicking the ball overhead.
Right.
Rugby League, you don't contest at the scrums, and you don't contest at the tackles. After 5 tackles, it's a turnover ball. There's all sorts of different rules that you can explore into, and it's a game for everyone. You can have fat people playing in the front row of rugby, and then the small, fat people playing on the wing.
That is a good point on the accessibility in terms of different athletic abilities. Connor Jones, however, I'm sorry to say this, Gareth, but I have to call you a simp because you didn't mention tag rugby. He's very disappointed.
Oh, no.
Henry says he's making it up as he goes along.
Well, I'm not, though. This is all factual information.
Well, it's very good factual information, and I think it's a strong argument. Were you about to say rugby, Alex? Do you agree with Gareth?
Rugby. I think I don't know how many listeners are based in Salisbury, but I'm big rugby boy. I started at Salisbury Rugby Club. My dad works in rugby. I'm a rugby boy, for better or worse. And I think what Gareth was saying about it being a sport for everyone is rugby's great strength. Like it absolutely is. Like I was saying, you got that's the front row. You got your beam poles in the second row. You got your more muscular ones in the back row. You got your quick types, your slow types. It's absolutely it's a sport for everyone. And I think one thing which I think is one of rugby's greatest sort of selling points at this moment in time is the attitude it's instilled. I think this isn't.
No, I genuinely I thought this would come up.
I just realised there's no jokes in the next.
It's very fast. It's fine.
It's rugby strength is the ethos and sort of the discipline it instills. Like to play rugby. I think it's the ultimate sport in that regard. You've got to be incredibly disciplined in sort of your. Not saying that professional footballers don't, but you've got to be so you've got to be in control of every aspect of your body. You've got to be physically fit, but you've also got to be mentally very, very on it. Like there's a lot. It's very, very sort of nuanced tactically, and you've got to remain in a game which is so. Can be incredibly, for want of a slightly less evocative word, violent.
Yeah.
You've got to stay calm and stay collected. I think that's one of the greatest things.
Would you agree, Gareth?
Yeah, and also it's quite fun to see people get.
I would agree with that because I play rugby pretty much every weekend, and we go out and batter each other on the pitch, and then we go to the pub and have a pint, and we're still mates afterwards. So it's just a sport that brings people together. And one important point, when you go and watch an international or a large club level rugby match, you can drink in the stadium, which you can't do in football.
That is a very good point, actually. Thank you so much for calling, Gareth. I really appreciate your input. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Ken. I've never heard such a spirited event of Rugby X, which is an incredibly niche, very new form of the game.
So you know about your... am I allowed to say what your dad does?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
He's the Chief Guardian rugby reporter. Is that right?
Yeah, he's the chief rugby correspondent. Yeah.
Correspondent, that's the point. Nice.
So I am not the world's most neutral because, it's what my dad does. But and I'm aware I've come from a very, very rugby, and also living in the West Country for the vast majority of my life. The rugby's king down here. So
that is a good. Where I am in Salisbury as well, I think rugby definitely does kind of trump a lot of the local areas. Charlotte says, I don't care for either, bracket surprise, but people in my life have put football, even at the lowest level, over everything else. Never had that for rugby. So, yeah, people do. That's a good point. I don't see people like collecting rugby match attacks. I don't even know if there's rugby, rugby sticker books, knowing all the rugby facts and stuff. Not on the same level, anyway.
Yeah, not the same. I think also because I think football's just globally much more popular. So,
well, Danica made the point earlier that because rugby is less popular, it's less intrusive in her life. So she actually prefers rugby. We're just getting another call. Sorry, thank you for your comments. I will talk through them in a minute. I'll just take this call. Hello, who have we got down the line?
It's me again.
Oh, hello, Henry. I know I can see who it is, but I like to say who it is. So who is this, just in case they want to play a character?
It could be a wacky character.
Yeah, it could be a wacky character, but it's not. It's just Henry Futcher. Hello, Henry.
It's not. I've got 2 main points.
Go.
Okay, point number 1. Which one do you want first?
I don't know the difference. So let's have point number 1 first, please.
Yeah. All right, point number 1. Okay, right. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, like I just said in the comments, rugby fans are awful. There's never anyone at any of the games, other than the Six Nations and the World Cup matches. All the stadiums are empty all the time.
Yeah.
Which shows that. And also the other thing about the rugby fans is, you know the bit where Joe Wilkinson scored the big goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So along those lines.
Winning goal 2003 World Cup final. Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, and he kicked it over the post. Have you seen the reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, they all went mental.
It's pathetic. It's not. They didn't go mental. They went, oh, here we go. It was nothing going on. Honestly, I've celebrated getting a throw in more than that than scoring the winner of the World Cup final. And my second point is, which is a bit more a serious point, is as I think was alluded to, or someone said, football is more accessible, which is the key difference and why football is a superior sport. You can't, as a child, imagine, put yourself in. Let's take away this white privilege for a moment and just envision ourselves as being a small child in a slum in a foreign country. They have no money, they have no food to eat, but they've got a crunched up water bottle so they can have a game of football with their mates.
This is a good point.
Can't be doing that with rugby. Can't be going, listen, Pablo, go fetch the bloody post and we need to drop the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
All the successful rugby nations are all very wealthy. Normally, actually, I think there's a weird sort of thing about how it's all like Commonwealth countries, like New Zealand, South Africa, Australia. It seems to be a big legacy of that. So football's a much more inclusive and available sport to people who don't perhaps have the funding or the monetary behind them to be able to
the big strength is accessibility. I'm not an anti-football person. I do think football's a great sport exactly for that reason. I do enjoy football, but the thing is with like the financial barrier into it. Like, if you're discussing what's the best, that's definitely a strength. But like, if you're saying what's the best game, say, would you say, well, noughts and crosses because you can play that sort of in the dirt with a stick, or would you say risk because it's more complicated? But do you see that sort of logic?
I do, but to be fair to that point, I would rather play a game of noughts and crosses than a game of risk.
Can I just ask, when you were going into that analogy, did you have a second board game in mind, or did you just invent risk?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Why do you think what's the best board game?
That's a different kettle of fish. People don't like Monopoly.
That's a good point. Henry's just said, what's the best board game? We'll say that for a future episode. What's the best board game? Will be a different... No, not now, for a future episode, Henry.
And also, Henry, one reason why the 2003, the crowd might not have gone as universally ballistic as you might like, is because that game was played in Australia. And the vast majority of
really?
And there were Australian just yeah. That's the reason why you might not see everyone in the stadium rise to their feet. But if you look at sort of some of the England fans just gassed about, and also listen to the radio commentary, which is absolutely incredible. They've just the commentators losing their absolute minds. That's where the passion. I get your point, though. Excellent points, well made.
Thanks, mate. Well, this guy's he's a lot nicer than George.
Yeah, Henry was one of the main people that George was going back and forth with, calling a nonce/virgin.
I give it a nonce, but that hasn't come up yet. That's,
oh yeah, sorry. He did. George got called a nonce. Henry got called a virgin. My apologies.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Andrew, I've got to go have my tea now. I've got to go.
All right. Enjoy your tea, mate.
You're holding me up here.
I'll see you later. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Henry Butcher there making some very strong arguments for football. But on rugby, Jack Sadler said in the comments, in international rugby, club level football. What do you think about that?
That's very interesting. I as a broad basis, I think that's a really what's the word, consensus building statement. Because I think international football isn't. You know what? I'm almost tempted to agree with that, because I think I love the club game. I love. I support Exeter Chiefs. They're my team. But I think football has nailed down the sort of the club loyalty, and that is the thing which. Yeah, I'm tempted to agree with that, actually.
Okay, I'd agree with that. Actually, no, I wouldn't agree with that. I think I prefer football on every levels, but as an objective kind of trying to play a bit of devil's advocate and see both sides, I would agree with that. Although Gareth says on the international front that England from like a local patriotic level, I suppose, England have reached more World Cup finals than any other football finals. So does that come into play?
Yeah. I think. I think that's the. I think it could do if for you. I think that's. Although I do agree. I do agree with Gareth and almost everything you said so far. I think it's a slightly narrow. The question.
Jack does say that it's not about. Cam says there's way more folk in the Football World Cup. It's a bit bigger.
It is a bigger competition because it's a bigger sport. I don't know. I think the sort of size of it, I think, doesn't matter almost.
Yeah.
The football being very popular because it's a very good sport and is very accessible is, definitely one of its strengths. But better than as a game than rugby.
It's a good.
I know you're a big football. What do you reckon, Andrew?
Charlotte's just said, just a very interesting point to bring in, not to dodge the question, but she said, any discussion on the women's sport? Is women's football better than women's rugby? Do you know much? I know a bit about women's football. I'm not very knowledgeable about rugby or women's rugby. Do you know about women's rugby?
I know a little bit, not as much as I should, but I know that it's really, really growing really quickly. I think if you looked sort of 15, 20 years ago, the women's game was very, very small, but now people are growing all the time. The game's growing all the time. Sort of universities, there used to be one tiny little women's rugby team, but now they're sort of across those universities, they're one of the biggest sports teams.
Oh, right.
I think it's now, and it's been helped by some great, really fantastic women's players like Maggie Alfonsi was fantastic. I remember watching her, it's now become a much more mainstream option than it was a while ago. I think it's great. It's great to watch.
So,
as is women's football.
Yes. So, but would you think you'd put women's rugby over women's football, or? You just put rugby over football generally, yeah. But that's a very interesting point, actually. I'm ashamed that we didn't consider it earlier. Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go from the very kind of switched on talking about feminist issues, I'd like to talk about football banter and rugby changing rooms.
Okay.
Yes. From two very different ends of the spectrum, from being, arguably a good person to why are rugby players basically fucking in changing rooms.
I will say the worst part about rugby is the rugby lad. That is what I will say. That is.
I suppose I assume we went to similar schools in terms of the culture around rugby and the type of rugby lad.
Yes. Well, I will say it gets worse as he gets older.
So you think adult rugby is even worse than school rugby?
I'd say I think adult rugby actually fine. School rugby fine. I think this might be a specific bit, and there are bad eggs all over the shop. But what
like, and what I would say is a major point against rugby is its university. But it being played in university, it being a big thing at uni, to be a rugby ball university, I think is it really paints the sport in a bad light. I think that's, I think it's the same with any sport. I think once if you is lionize the right word?
I guess, yeah.
A sport and the people who are good at it, I think, those people who are good at it do become, arseholes.
Yeah, I suppose that's the closest thing we have to a football jock, like an American football jock over here, is the rugby lad.
And you see it, and we're both in rugby, sort of big rugby territory, so I'm sure it was the rugby place, but I'm sure it's the football lads elsewhere. It's the same sort of
it's a good point. I think especially in like the Midlands and up north, there's much more of a football community than a rugby community. I just on the kind of the banter and culture around it, I'd say football is better than rugby.
I think
also, like, football, some of the football chants that some people have come up with are the funniest things.
Yeah,
I've never seen that in a rugby game.
It's because rugby's got this air, also because the fans aren't segregated.
Oh yeah. Oh, is there a respectability as well? It's like, we respect our opposition players. Wankers, honestly.
Cheering, but there's very little getting up. Really. There's obviously singing, and if you go down to the great rugby, one thing Henry said earlier, which is the attendance. Like just the Premiership rugby in the UK, really. Apart with the exception of a couple of clubs, really does turn them out.
So what's the biggest rugby club in the country?
Interesting, because Saracens are dominated English club rugby in the last 10 years, but they, in a similar way to Manchester City, have been done for going over the wage bill. Mm-hmm. So they've been docked. I think I might get it wrong. So I think 120 points.
Oh right, bloody hell.
So and until this, will kick off. I think they're still deciding what to do about the season, but were guaranteed to be relegated. So and there's some big clubs with long history. Clubs like Leicester Tigers are big.
Mm-hmm. But you say that I just wanted to come back to it because you say about Saracens. The reason I asked was Googling it. Because the Saracens play at the Allianz Park,
yes,
which is 15,000 capacity. There are League Two clubs that have bigger capacity than that.
Yes, because football's more popular. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean rugby's worse.
Okay, I see. Well, you just on the attendance point, okay, fair enough.
No, there is, and also Sarries is a bad example because they're a bunch of plastic fans, and all the Sarries fans are the absolute worst. But
right.
But
you dipped out again there, Alex. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Football fans are more passionate, but the original thing, football chat versus rugby chat, football chat much more international. Like if you talk about football, you can talk about football with absolutely anyone. Rugby chat, a little bit more niche. Lots of funny people in the game. Really does provide a lot of funny moments, but I might have to concede to you that football chat is
So football on chat and culture and kind of all the things around it, we'd say is best. But I think the comments and the calls, other than do lean towards rugby being the better sport. I want to quickly pick up on these last two YouTube comments, and we'll close up the show. Cam says, best football chant. You've got 11 players. We've got 11 players. That's how you play football, which is a reference to a video. Have I ever sent you this?
No.
It's a video I did called where I just made up football chants for Bournemouth. One of which was, you've got 11 players. We've got 11 players. That's how you play football. So, but Gareth says Saracens got docked 105 points, £5.3 million, and are getting relegated. He can't wait to see Saracens versus Cornish Pirates.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing, I think the money, the fact that rugby's not run by money, I think increasingly it is. But I think
that's been one of his great strengths. It's avoided the commercialisation of football, where it seems I don't know, from an outsider who hasn't. I support Wolverhampton Wanderers, and someone who still follow them usually for the lower leagues. So suddenly start seeing them in the Premier League, where it seems like it just seems so money.
Yeah. I felt the same with Bournemouth. Seeing them go up the leagues, it's very much been interesting to see the money side of things. I mean, in terms of the amount of money, obviously football wins, but in terms of money culture, rugby is much better. So that's the end. That's the end of the show. So just to recap, we think that darts probably should be an Olympic sport, but it'd be much better to have its own pub Olympics / get knives and heroin involved. I think that was the conclusion.
Absolutely.
Best chocolate, Galaxy chocolate. Best chocolate bar, double decker. And then we agreed just then that rugby was a better sport, but football had the better culture. So it's a nice kind of middle ground that we've reached on today's Pulse of the Nation.
I sort of built consensus.
Yeah.
In a world of division, of polarisation.
That is I think the tagline for the show is, whilst the NHS is preoccupied, somebody has to take the pulse of the nation.
Hey,
it's been fun. Thank you for joining me, Alex.
No worries. Sorry, I got less funny towards the end.
No, it was all interesting.
I was expecting.
But the whole point of it is, it's a platform to be interesting and have a good chat. People have opinions, and if we can make it funny, it's always an extra bonus. And it normally does end up being a good laugh.
I had a great time. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. So just to let everyone know, I think we're doing 7 episodes for the first series. So we got 3 more weeks, and then I'll go on pause and I'll work out what I'm doing with it. Next week, I think we'll be discussing what is the best board game, as we almost got into today. But for now, I've been live with Alex. Is there anything you want to plug, Alex? Social media, any projects?
I mean, if people, mostly my Twitter, at Alex Kitson 0. And I'm on Facebook, just at Alex Kitson, and Instagram, but I'm not very good at that. But Alex Kitson 0 again.
I like that you've gone for 0. I like to think that Alex Kitson was available, but Alex Kitson 0 was just one before Alex Kitson.
There's some bastard Alex Kitson out there. He's got all of the standard Alex Kitsons on most platforms, and I thought, well, there's only Alex Kitson 1. That seems lame. So I thought Alex Kitson 0. No one else wants to be 0 for some intrinsic reasons. So get a bit of cross. All be the same thing.
Alex Kitson 0. Go check him out. Thank you for joining us, Alex. Thank you for joining us, all the YouTube and Facebook audience. We'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.